Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. Hope y'all had a good Wednesday. O universal source, divine breath of creation, you who exist in the realm of pure vibration and subtle energy, may your sacred frequency be awakened within us, and may we embody the divine essence, allowing the kingdom to arise within our hearts and souls. Allow the divine will of the physical and spiritual to merge realms in the cosmic divine pattern, microcosm and macrocosm, nourishing us with cosmic divine vitality and divine wisdom and life force. Divine energy of cosmic consciousness, please restore us of any misalignment and confusion that has been created against us. And as we release what no longer serves us, let it release the blockages that hinder forward movement. What we release then releases us. Invoke our discernment and awareness to not be deceived, and awaken our divine blueprint of destiny, giving us the synchronicities and the signs to banish doubt, fog, and confusion. Protect our divine pathway and rescue us from illusion of separation from our divine purpose and soul family. In the name of divine order of our inner sacred kingdom, allow it to match our outer experience, and may the creative spark always be lit and protect us on our journey and guide us through divine intervention, as above within our minds, as below within our hearts, as within our inner kingdom and in our outer world, now and forever, and so it is. It is done, it is done, it is done. Welcome in, collective. I hope you had a good Wednesday. We have Dustin and Shiva, Marco, Alyssa, Celestial, Martina B. They're all in the house tonight. The great storm is upon us, collective. And I'm not about to stutter. Tonight's going to be a story time read. Just taking a moment to tap into the energy. I've already shuffled the cards. I'm going to start off with some oracles, though. And then I'm going to end the night off with the Lightworkers Oracle. But I'm going to start off with the Mystical Forest. Spirit animals. Okay. I'm going to start off with the vibe check, actually. a little dragon, like this guy. Spirit, what's the overall vibe of tonight's reading? Somebody's shattered. Somebody's feeling broken. Having nightmares. Feeling like a failure. They feel like there's no more possibilities. They didn't want you following your dreams. They want to be unblocked from you. It's a feminine energy that wasn't so nurturing. You've ultimately laid this tension to rest. This is a person that didn't want you having a glow up. They didn't want you having any new opportunities, a new career, successful business. They took that as a threat. Collective. You actually succeeding, they took that as a threat. Whoever this person is, they really need to give their heads a shake. Extremely toxic. They should be ashamed of themselves. Apparently they don't want you moving on. They're not willing to heal. They're not willing to do the self-care. Heaven forbid they take some time out to meditate. Yeah, they wanted you snapping out. Maybe they wanted you to be shattered with no possibilities. Yeah. They're all stressed out and confused. How can you be so unbothered with everything they threw at you? With all of the unbalanced and chaos that they threw at you, at your new opportunities, how could you be so unbothered? They were playing games, Collective. This is the whole point. They wanted you to snap out. It's like they wanted to see your other side. They wanted to see your anger. They weren't wanting your mentorship. They didn't want to listen to your wisdom. They weren't willing to give back to you. They thought it was hilarious. To play in your face, thinking that they'd get away with it. To have you always remunerating back to the past. Taking you out of the moment. Removing you from your good vibes. They got a kick out of it. They don't have any respect for you. They never did. They never will. They didn't want unity with you, and they didn't want to get close to you. They're not laughing now, though. The fact that you're still established, you're still very settled, you're very secure, you're focusing on your wealth. No matter how they tried to play in your face, they found out the truth. You're not out here to cheat anybody. You're not out here backstabbing anyone. You're not out here being two-faced. You're authentic and genuine as they come. Whoever this person is, are definitely getting some sort of karma. You keep transmuting this chaos they throw at you, and they're becoming the joke. They're becoming the laughing stock. Because not only did they show themselves and they showed their hand, it's not something that you can unsee, collective. Yeah, this could very well be a family member that you're not longing to be connected to anymore. They may be missing you, they want to talk to you, they want some sort of a reunion, but you've laid this to rest. Spirit saying your cutoff game is very strong. It's very quick. But once you make a decision, you stand on that decision. And I think this is what they're so upset about. The fact that you're cutting them out. The fact that they've been in constant competition with you. The fact that they've been jealous of you. Ultimately because you're not toxic, and you know, they can't compete where they don't compare. They're puzzled after all of the chaos they created for you. It didn't rip you apart. This is the type of person that would sit and scheme and think long and hard to try to find out what would be the best to destroy you. What would be the best motive and best way to do this without showing their cards, without revealing who they were, that was behind it all. I mean, they've known you all your life. They've always known there was something different about you. And this is why they went so hard to destroy you. Throwing rocks and hiding their hands. Misunderstanding you on purpose. Not allowing you to move on. Not allowing you to elevate. Not allowing you to have any new career, new opportunities, no success. They made it their life's work. They've made it their life's mission. the type of person that you would give knowledge to and wisdom to. They didn't bother taking it. They resented it. They resented the fact that you would even speak up about it. This person's having an ego death because their opportunity and their connection with you has run out. And everything that was meant to bring about your demise only became your rise. And the only thing that they didn't add to the equation is how and what they would do if you continued to rise. And now people are starting to see the true motive of themselves. The fact that they tried to get other people to go up against you too. Going behind the scenes, thinking that you'd never figure it out. Now they're the ones with the migraines. Now they're the ones that are stressed out. That's the thing about the wheels of destiny. What goes up must come down. You tried to warn them. You tried to make it worth their while. They didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to listen. They didn't want you knowing that there was hope on the horizon. They didn't want you facing these challenges the way that you have. And they wanted to be relentless in your destruction, making it a slow burn. They didn't want you trusting in the universe. And they didn't want you knowing that there were good things in store for you. Literally having no hope for the future. I'm really kind of picking up on a sister energy. They've held so much resentment within themselves. They would have been happier if they were an only child. Collective, the fact that you've healed all of the shit that they've thrown at you, They didn't want you to let go of that version of yourself. The battered and bruised and abused version of yourself. They didn't want you healing that. They didn't want you empowering your pain to power. They didn't want you to let that part of you go. This is why they were so relentless, coming against you. When you came into the picture, you're definitely not the gift. You were more of a hindrance. To them, anyway. They didn't want life unfolding for you. They didn't want you seizing the day or making the most of every chance that you had. They didn't want you being true to yourself. And they sure as hell didn't want you living your life to the fullest. They resent you for your freedom. This person may have had children at an early age and lost their sense of freedom. And they resent you for it. The fact that you know how to make educated decisions. They don't like the fact that that you learned from their mistakes more than they ever did. The fact that you would watch and you would observe, and the fact that you would learn and elevate from their mistakes added to the resentment. Because all the while they were going through it, you were elevating from it. Just from observation. Not recognizing that they were your greatest teacher. They couldn't even stand in the validity and the honor of that. Because had they had it, they wouldn't have taught you anything. You weren't supposed to elevate farther than them. You weren't supposed to make better and more educated decisions. You weren't supposed to have freedom before them. And this is why they resented you so much. This is why they hated your guts. This is why every time that you asked them for help, they wouldn't help you. Because they like to see you suffer. Collective, this is what bitterness does to you. This is why healing is so important. Because we got snakes out here slithering in the street. Throwing rocks and hiding their hands. Smiling to your face and laughing behind your back. Taking joy in your suffering. The ability that you can stand in your authenticity unapologetically. The fact that you can sense when it is time to act. And the fact that you have the perseverance to do so. Resides on the lessons that you've learned from observation. To find out what actually matters. The bitterness that they had for you. This is the type of person that had children to fill a void that they could not fill themselves. They felt empty inside, and it was due to the bitterness. The fact that they could not compete where they could not compare. And even so, they were the older one. It always seemed that they could not match you, no matter how much they tried. And this frustrated them to no end. This bitterness created a divide, even with their children, where their children even walked away from them. Perpetuating their victimhood and compounding it. And it's all because they chose not to heal. They wanted you out here reckless, making a fool of themselves, making a fool of yourself, so that way the attention would be taken off of their inadequacies. They out here trying to destiny swap with you and take this spiritual inheritance that had your name on it, thinking that they could do better with it, not recognizing that had they healed their bitterness, they would have had their own. But because they're harboring, they held on to that bitterness. This is why they haven't received it. This is why they still feel empty, even after all these years. While you stand unbothered to their bullshit. Unapologetically. This was why, collective, it's good to keep an open mind. To step into observation mode. To not be held up in victim mode. Yes, we may be a victim when certain situations and certain challenges that we go through, we do tend to be in that victim mode. We do become the victim. But it is ultimately up to us with how our reaction will pertain to our elevation. Before you were born, they had all the attention. It was all about them. But as soon as there was any mention of you, that's where the resentment started. That's where the loathing and the hate was preceded. You either live and you learn and stay observant, or you crash and you burn. And with you, collective, there is no option to crash and burn. You don't have that luxury. Because you are in the attitude of gratitude. You are in the attitude of open-mindedness, of knowledge and wisdom, learning from your experience, transmuting it, turning your mistakes and lessons into blessings, allowing it to be integrated into your knowledge and wisdom and mind to help you elevate. Had they not concentrated on your demise so much and focused on what they could have done with themselves, to elevate and to lead by example rather than by hate and bitterness, I think they would have gotten a lot farther. But each and every single one of us has the ability to take action as the main character, or to be manipulated, puppeteered, sabotaged, and made into something that you're not. Also, that they look good. They look better. This is how entitled and bitter and very narcissistic that it can be. And they wonder why people walk away from them. All the while, the black sheep walk away from and are walked away from because of the truth that they speak. Collective, the fact that you do not hold any bitterness, the fact that you still rise despite it all, should tell you something. Should help you to recognize who you really are. You are a warrior of sorts. And this is a very, very, very powerful perspective that you should not ever forget. It should be the foundation on which you build from. The self-respect, the self-love, the courage, the confidence, the perseverance, and the ability to alchemize and transmute that what no longer serves you and use it to your highest good, to become the best, most authentic version of yourself through reflection. But you got some people around you or within your energy or connected to you somehow that can't seem to wrap their head around that. Whether this is a family member or not. When you have people out here trying to destroy you and ruin you, that should be a confirmation as to how powerful you really are. And it's something that you need to keep close to your heart. The trials and tribulations are meant to shape you, build your character. And this is the magic of the divine working in your life, giving you that understanding, heeding the warnings, and not thinking of it as some sort of conspiracy theory. The validity that you seek has always been within you as a confirmation. All these years and all this time of feeling stuck and feeling thwarted and not knowing why or where or how. It's all starting to come to light within the shadow work that you've dug deep, deep within the consciousness of your mind and your heart and your soul, to put these pieces together to gain a better understanding of your situation. You have every right to live. You have every right to rise and be the best version of yourself, no matter how or what the circumstances. It's not about reacting and falling into victim of the puppeteering, but to use discernment, to utilize the wisdom that has been shown to you, and to take action instead of reaction. This is the game changer. Specifically for those of you that are dealing with reactive abuse, Once you can actually recognize what reactive abuse is, you then have a choice as to how you either act or react within a domino effect. And being the fact that you are your own painter to your own canvas, you are your own captain to your own ship. There's nobody out there that is going to be able to come through and to create a deception big enough and thick enough to keep you from the truth. And the moment that you take time to recognize how very powerful you are and what you are truly capable of, that will ultimately be the game changer that changes everything. It's a change in focus, a change in direction of that focus, of turning your pain to power. Alchemy of life, hour by hour. Be in the stillness. Be in the wisdom and have reverence for that wisdom. And despite what is thrown at you, as long as you are applying those lessons, you will always prevail. But if you find yourself falling victim, you have the choice to make you or break you. You have your choice of action or reaction. And this is why the stillness is so important. This is why finding your inner space, finding your energy is so important. Because we out here in a spiritual war, where there's a war on for your soul and your mind, to make you and have you confused and uncertain and sitting in a fog, not knowing from up from down. But when you know your own inner energy, you know what you stand for. You know that you have within you the courage and integrity to move forward regardless. The ability to take that step back and to stay in the stillness, to recognize and stay focused on what you're trying to build for yourself, despite it all. As much as we may fall victim, we also have the properties and the possibility of becoming that warrior. By keeping your mind open, it reveals the truth that you would rather not look at. But it becomes bittersweet when that pain turns to power, hour by hour. Hold strength and confidence knowing that you are on the right path. There will come a time where there is time to act. You will need to stay in your perseverance, because these people out here want you to give up. when you have a mission to fulfill. Spreading hope. Recognizing the spirit of love within you through your compassion. And these people want to debate you, thinking that you do not deserve this, when it has nothing to do with them. Especially when they are trying to dim your light. When they are ultimately trying to put you out by any means necessary. You have every right to step into your authenticity and your sovereignty. And there's not a person or entity out here that can dictate to you otherwise. They can try to be that puppeteer in your life. But they will almost every time be left behind for doing so. A lot of these people that choose to throw chaos at us, collective, they think that they're getting away with it, not recognizing that they are being watched. Some of them don't care. But what they don't understand and what they don't see is that the divine already knew their intention from the beginning. So if they feel that they're going to lie and deceive to get themselves out of it, they really have no idea what they don't understand. A lot of the black sheep that were brought into the family were there to break those curses. Yes, we are all ultimately to be made to feel certain energies and certain feelings. But what distinguishes you from being a karmic opposed to a divine energy is whether or not you hold on to that bitterness, whether or not you allow it to shape you in a negative way or a positive way. And black sheep, the star seeds, the chosen, the earth angels that go through the trials and tribulations in order to shape their world and their experience, the ones that hold on to bitterness are the snakes. The ones that actually transmute it are actually the true chosen. The true chosen walk around with forgiveness within their hearts, no matter what has happened. They do not have hate or animosity towards those that thwart them, because they're not built that way. Yes, you have every right to be angry. Yes, you have every right to hold bitterness for a while, but it does not change you. It does not shape you into a negative individual. If anything, it helps you with your resilience. It helps you with your perseverance. because you're built differently. Michael, it's building your character. Take it one moment at a time. Stop being so hard on yourself. Yes, it's definitely taxing. But ultimately understand that just that in itself of what you are working with right now, Michael, is showing that you can still have gratitude for where you are, because things could still be so much worse. And I'm not to say that you're not in gratitude, but it's a good reminder. Seeing things from a different perspective. As emotionally draining and taxing as it is, Michael, you're doing well. Keep up the good work. Welcome in, Clown. Welcome in, Julie. Welcome in, Frey, Bradley, Kitty. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I do my best to not sugarcoat things, collective. But once you lean into the wisdom, once you lean into the possibilities that life is here to teach you something, you then start asking, what is the lesson? What is the purpose? With everything I've endured, it's kept me humble. Where other people out there think I have an ego, it's taken me forever and a day even just to have confidence in myself. To commit and to show up day after day after day and to speak on what I've spoken on day after day after day. And people are out here thinking I have an ego. People are out here thinking that I just don't belong here. That what I've endured doesn't matter. Yet here I am out here inspiring people. It really makes me step back and think. And ultimately, this is why I chose the thumbnail for this video. Because it shows someone on the shore, warning people about a waterfall up ahead. And everybody in their boat going down this river thinking it's a conspiracy theory. Thinking that if it was the truth, it would be shown on the TV. And asking, okay, crazy, where's your tinfoil hat? As they're going over the waterfall. I just happen to be the one on the shore. And when I speak with purpose. When I speak from experience. And that's what some of you, not all of you, but some of you, mainly the ones that aren't in the chat, the ones that lurk on a relentless basis, thinking that they're going to sit there and laugh and make me out to be a joke. Your time is coming. Mark my words, your time is coming. There will be a time and a place where you will have no other choice but to recognize that I was right. And at that point, collective, for them it will be too late. I'm not out here judging people. I ultimately could care less what you do with your life. I'm having a hard enough time surviving on my own. To sit here and think about what everybody else is doing. But yet I'm supposed to sit here and waste my time talking about these dumbass karmics that don't know how to show up right. And yet they're trying to make me to be the mockery. They're trying to make me out to be the joke. When all it's doing is revealing their truest nature. That they're the laughing stock of them all. Because they failed to heed my warnings. They failed to heed what I've spoken on over the last 3 years on this channel. And they chose to mock, they've chose to judge, and take no validity in anything I say. And the odd irony of it all, collective, they will have nobody to blame but themselves. The thing is, the thing I find extremely funny is the fact that they try to get back in my DMs and talk to me as if nothing even happened. As if they think that they can pull the wool over my eyes. They don't want to answer to the fact that they were wrong. They don't want to answer to the fact that maybe they should have listened. That maybe I was actually compassionate enough to try to save them from their turmoil and their tribulations. But they failed to see it at the time. They failed to be humble. They fail to recognize that maybe there's someone out there with actual common wisdom trying to help them. So to the ones that are in the chat, to the ones that are making a difference in your life, to the ones that are allowing me to inspire you, you have a very close place in my heart. And know that you are loved. To my supporters, to my members, to my tribe, thank you. You make coming back here worth it. We're starting off with the Seven of Cups in reverse, the High Priestess, the Ten of Wands, the Knight of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Tower. The ability to focus on yourself and not be distracted by, we'll call it, distractions, and the overwhelm of the societal norm of what society wants it to be. To calling back your power, to doing the work, to recognizing the wisdom that you have within you, providing that you apply it. Brings you to the position where you're able to let go of burdens that were never yours to begin with, collective. To pay no mind to the karmics that choose to misunderstand you on purpose, yet try to throw burdens on you. Burdens that are not yours to carry. It's about finally closing out cycles. We are at the end of the snake year, collective. We ultimately have less than a month left of this snake, moving into the year of the horse. We're coming to the precipice of taking action. We're coming to the precipice of recognition of how far we've come, how much we've elevated. And by taking action, allowing the happening to happen, These people out here that were misunderstanding us on purpose, that were making us out to be a laughing stock, talking shit on our name, thinking that they were the stable ones, thinking that they were lying to us, and thinking that they were pulling the wool over our eyes, that they were actually deceiving us, outright competing with us, failing to recognize we weren't even playing the game that they were playing. These people that were deceiving us are sitting in a tower right now. They thought that they had it all figured out. Not recognizing that they were staring themselves right into the tower itself. The fact that they had it all figured out. And now their tower is on fire and about to crumble. It's a great awakening, collective. And the fact that you called your power back is their tower. The fact that you ended out cycles is your justice. The fact that you spoke up and calibrated your heart of discernment now all of a sudden the clowns want to reconcile. They don't want to fight anymore. They honestly didn't realize what they were going up against. And now that they're having to face the tower, now all of a sudden they want to drop these burdens that they've caused you, as if they're not going to take any type of accountability for it. They don't want to take any responsibility for what they've caused you. Isn't that funny? If you're curious as to what I'm burning sage, burdock, dragon's blood, palo santo. It's almost comical, collective. It's almost comical. They thought they knew the game. They thought that you were playing the game. They thought that you were playing a game with them and you weren't playing a game at all. It actually does smell really, really good. Ultimately, you focusing on yourself. They tried to dump out your cup because they wanted you to focus on them. The fact that you took action and moved forward. And because you started to move forward, they tried to sabotage your movement. And you alchemized it into stability for yourself. You took your pain and you turned it to power. Which they thought it was injustice on their part. And because you created a stability with what they caused you, instead of allowing it to harm you, they tried to continue to create injustice to confirm that they were the ones in control. Not recognizing that the one person that was sent to help them, they were ending all bridges of support, not only from you, collective, but from the people around them. Because once the truth come out about the fact that they lied, once the truth come out, it embarrassed them. Because the one person that came into their life that they prayed for, that was supposed to help them, they tried to destroy you. Rather than heed your warnings. And this is how the ego got the best of them. And this is how they sabotaged their blessing. And where coming for you and causing you injustice actually caused them injustice. And now all of a sudden they don't want to fight anymore. Now all of a sudden they want to make things right. The thing is, collective, is the fact that they tried to dump out your cup and break your heart and have you shattered, it only activated your intuition that much deeper. It only just activated your magic and allowed you to stand in your power even more. And not only did you take action, but you stood on business with that. You created a position for yourself of a leader. And despite what they did to come at you, even with third parties, and come at you in groups to thwart you and take away from you and to sabotage your stability, they're having no other choice but to pay for that. They have no other choice but to take on karmic debt for that, trying to make you pay for their sabotage. And where they tried to put you out in the cold and you found a new foundation to build on, they then relentlessly tried to go at you to try to create the illusion that you were unstable, that you were unworthy. And by causing this injustice, and the fact that you have patience, the fact that you continue to move forward despite the injustice, the fact that you were consistent, I really do feel that you burnt them out. By them trying to burn you out, they burnt themselves out, not recognizing what they were up against, not even heeding your warnings, the fact that you're not one to play with. And yet here they are thinking it's just a game. And because your cutoff game is so strong, you weren't even a match for the devil. Because the devil even knows not to play with you. The injustice that was imposed upon you, collective, was only a confirmation to you of how powerful you actually are. Collective, we're not going around trying to pose as a particular person. We're not going around masking. We're not going around faking it till we make it. We are recognizing our true authenticity. We are recognizing our true potential, and we are walking with that. No matter how fast or slow, we are walking with that. And this is why people can't play with us. Because we are steadfast in our convictions. We are steadfast in our intentions and purpose. And where they feel that we are standing in ego, they're standing there with a mask on, acting fake, thinking that they're pulling the wool over our eyes. Not recognizing that we've already clocked them, not recognizing that we've already seen through their mask. We already see their intentions. And this is why we create these warnings. This is why we speak up and we say our piece. This is why we stand in our authenticity, because we know better than that. And yet they wonder why we are unbothered. Welcome in, Carson, Maureen, Alchemist. The fact that we've integrated our masculine and feminine energies, being able to nurture and attract what is meant for us, and they're out here trying to thwart it. It may simply only delay, but what is meant for us will always be for us, collective. So don't think for 1 second that what is meant for you, that you will miss out on it. This is part of recognizing our true potential and what we have available to us, and what is part of our destiny, and what is part of our pathway, built on resilience and perseverance. Recognizing the magic and manifestations we have available to us, while they try to make us question and have us in our head and have us go through dark nights of the soul, not recognizing that it is our enlightenment of these dark nights of the soul that make us so powerful. When they're too much of a coward to go through one themselves, to recognize their fullest potential. The irony, the bittersweet irony in that, where they're out here trying to create chaos. The chaos is being revealed. It's showing their true intention, with us not even having to ask about it. The fact that they're out here causing us chaos, showing their cards, thinking that they're deceiving us, and they wonder how we can stay 10 steps ahead. They've already shown us who they are by doing such things. And this is the whole thing. They're moving through this, faking it till they make it, thinking that they're pulling the wool over our eyes, thinking that they're deceiving us. Meanwhile, we're clocking every time they do that. We're clocking every intention. We're clocking every action that they take against us. We're moving into a time where the way that you show up in the world will show your true intentions. The masks are not only slipping, the masks are falling off. And yet they're out here honestly thinking that they are deceiving us, thinking that we're not figuring this out. But the difference is here, collective, is that because we are recognizing it, we don't necessarily have to disclose that this is actually happening. We might question it within our own mind, is this actually happening? But we're not out here calling them on it. Because we don't have to. We just act accordingly. And then they wonder why we walk away. They wonder why we're no longer giving them the time of day. They wonder why they can't get back into our energy. And we're the cold ones? When they've already shown us their hand, they've already shown us their intention. And because they've shown us their ill intention, why would we waste our time? Because the true, authentic people will show up authentically. They will stay consistent with who they are and how they act. They don't have any ulterior motives. The ones with true intentions aren't out here faking it till they make it. The ones with true intentions are out here standing in their authenticity. Moving into the horse year, we are shedding our skin now. We are stepping into our authenticity in order to start moving forward within that horse year. Moving out of the snake. This is the ability to shed our skin and what no longer serves us. By standing in our authenticity, by moving forward with conviction, utilizing the wisdom that we've gained over the years. And this is where the great divide has begun. Because these toxic-ass narcissists, these manipulators, these abusers, their time is coming. And unfortunately for them, it's already here. And they're in the process of going through a major ego death. They're in the process of individualistic culling of their ill intentions, having no other choice but to look at themselves and what they've made of themselves. And all of the energy that they put into deceiving others is ultimately coming back to bite them. To make you helpless. Them trying to get you to lower your boundaries and to lower your standards to become more in their energy. It's being revealed. We're coming to a precipice where we have no other choice but to see them for who they truly are. These people are not meant to be wasted time on. Because a lot of them will be going and meeting their demise for what they've done. And where some say Judgment Day is coming, Judgment Day is here. It is the great reveal. See, the thing is, collective, is that they were hoping that they could come back into your experience to get you to drop your guard in order to start over again. And they thought that by giving you time to calm down, they could still come back in and fulfill that union of the soulmate. Realizing that because of them trying to sabotage you, for them trying to disenfranchise you and bring you down, did they disrespect the blessing that the divine brought them? But they severed all contact, they severed all contract, they've severed all union to this overall dynamic. It was ultimately sent to save them. It was ultimately there to help them elevate. Turning upside down for trying to turn yours upside down. And the fact that they want to come back in and create this new union with you, because the fact that they want to move forward now with you, and they want you to say yes to that, Now you are holding your cards close to your chest because now it's been revealed of who they are and their true intention. Now it's been revealed already that they were sleeping on you, that they didn't have any type of solid validity where you were concerned. They thought that they could play in your face and get away with it, and now they're all they're doing is watching you walk away. And now they're having no other choice but to sit there and recognize the fact that they screwed up. And some of these people went back to karmics, not recognizing that you were their way out. But because they weren't willing to transform and transmute and level up, and instead they went back to something from the past, they ultimately severed all contracts and commitments, and as they watch the back of your head as you walk away, unapologetically, apparently you're the bitter one. You're the selfish one for thinking about you. Only elevated you. It didn't sabotage you. It only helped you recognize actually how resilient and powerful you really are. And because you weathered the storm and because you elevated with this is ultimately something that was revealed. It not only revealed your true essence of who you are within your persistence and your perseverance, and although that revealing at first pissed you off, it ultimately set you free. Thinking that they could play in your face. Thinking that they could just come back anytime they wanted. That you would take them back and play this dumbass game over and over and over again in this dumbass cycle. Not recognizing that they only had back after they had that chance with you to reconcile, and they played in your face yet again, thinking that you were just a laughing stock, that you were just a joke. Only to have their whole world turn upside down when you walked away. It only brought you to a deeper focus. It only brought you closer to your blessings. You have all the tools in your toolbox, collective. Despite what chaos that's been thrown at you, the evil alchemy, it only brought about their true intentions of what they thought they could get away. And because of your strengths and because of what you lost, I'm hearing double for your trouble, but so much more than that. And they're bitter because of your strength. They're bitter because of your stability. And they're bitter because all you do is continue to elevate, despite it all. The fact that you recognize their true intentions brought you clarity. The fact that you recognized your true strength stopped them in their tracks, brought you rest. Because you're not having to deal with them anymore. It's bittersweet. Your stability is bringing you into a new foundation of purpose. The fact that you have direction, you have stability. And now they're having to recognize and face their own bitterness that they have within themselves. And they're facing judgment for that bitterness that they enacted onto you, because you did not deserve it. You did not deserve that bitterness. But whether you deserved it or not, it all helped you elevate. Allowed you to make a particular judgment call regarding them. And the fact that all you've done is elevate. You could just continue to elevate and to nurture and to manifest. You continue to build everything that they came at you with to try to get you to snap out. Only confirmed how nurturing you really are. We're sitting here with the Empress and the Emperor. They're out here acting tyrannical, trying to make you look like the tyrannical one. Meanwhile, you're in Empress energy, building and nurturing and creating. You're literally putting this bitterness to rest. You're not allowing it to stay with you. They're having no other choice but to stop you in your tracks because of your strength. But they're being stopped in their tracks to continue to move forward. You tried to warn them, collective. They failed to heed your warning. And that's not your problem. You had every right to stand on boundaries, to raise your standards, to protect yourself. You had every right. It's a good thing that you had your eyes open and your mind open. because you reconciled with yourself. All the while, they're trying to disempower you, and you're standing on business. All the while, you're not only reconciling with yourself, you're being nurturing to yourself, knowing that there's still a future for you. The fact that they were trying to slow you down and to slow down your healing and to put you in the dark, causing you conflict only to come in and apologize with a stinky ass apology, thinking that you were just going to let bygones be bygones and that, you know, you could just move on and move forward. They could just come in and celebrate with you and put an end to this fiasco and start all over again, time after time after time after time after time, only to manipulate you, only to uninspire you. But now you recognize the truth, that all they did is sabotage their own blessing. And I do feel that they are having no other choice but to face that now, collective. Storytime read, clown. It doesn't really matter who signs are who. I try to keep the signs out of it for the storytime reads because it's ultimately something that could happen with anyone. This is definitely a scenario that could happen with any sign. Okay? But if you were looking for some karmic water signs, there's definitely some karmic, quite possibly karmic fire signs. There's definitely some karmic air signs. There's Cancer, there's Libra, there's Aquarius, there's Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, Leo, Gemini. I'm really seeing all the signs. There's Sagittarius, there's Leo, there's Aries. Pretty well all the signs are out here. There's Capricorn as well. There's quite a few cards that come out on the Storytime reads, and this is one of the reasons why I don't usually post any signs during a story time. This is a story time that is timeless. It could happen in the past. It could have happened now. I'm being told a heated warning, so this could very well be for some of you more or less in the future. So you very well could be being deceived by someone, thinking that they could play in your face, thinking that all they have to do is come back with an apology, and they'll get back in with you and get back in your energy all over it, where they don't have to take any type of accountability. And whoever this other person is, thinking that they're playing with you and your energy and your feelings and your emotions, they are now realizing that it is a no-go. It is a no-go, Joe. It is not happening. I'm also picking up on it's in the past because it doesn't last. So whoever was trying to come at you, who was ever trying to play in your face, whoever was trying to thwart you, sabotage you, thinking that they were playing a game, trying to get you to submit to their bullshit, ending on business, and they're losing their absolute mind because they've lost control. They're not in it anymore. They've backed out. Recognizing how obsessed they were. Your energy is, whether it's intoxicating, it's addictive. To some of you, your love is like a drug to people. And this is why they're obsessed, and this is why you need to use discernment as to who you share your energy with. Because some people are out here acting a whole energy vampire, thinking that they can come in and out, in and out, in and out. They siphon from you, or they reattach to you, and then they back off because they only want your energy. They don't want you. They don't want your life. They don't want to be around your authenticity, and they can't handle it due to their insecurities. So this is why they're all hot and cold, because they want your energy, but they don't want to be held accountable for what they're doing. And they want to be out here with the fuck shit and play the third party dynamic, thinking that they can have their cake and eat it too. And now they're being disconnected, they're being kicked out and off the island, so to speak, and they don't have any clout with you anymore. They don't have any connection with connected, access denied, and they're absolutely losing their shit. Because you're one of a kind, collective. You're one of one. And they've been trying to search for you and other people with a third party, thinking that you're just a regular Joe Schmo. You're just another person. Meanwhile, you're not. They can't find you in anyone where. And the fact that they slept on you, the fact that they severed all connection, the fact that they severed all possibilities with you, now they're losing their absolute mind. Because they do not have access to you anymore. And this is why cutting cords and severing ties, energetically and otherwise, is very important. It's not about just with this person. And as much as you might want closure, or as much as you want to reconcile or let water under the bridge, the closure is how they treated you in the first place. If they're going to show up with ill intention, whether they elevate or not, they still showed up with ill intention. What makes you think they're not going to do that again? Because these karmics aren't out here learning lessons. I tell you that right now. They out here being selfish, egotistical assholes, thinking that they can wool you, not recognizing that they can't wool you anymore, because they showed their cards. They know the game you're playing, and you're not playing the game. For very good reason. You're here playing stupid games, collective. Why? Because you're not up to winning stupid prizes. And this is why we've made this decision to walk on and move forward. and to pay no mind to these dumbass karmics that are actually losing their mind. Because you know the truth, now they're not inspired anymore. You're not inspired to connect with them anymore. For good reason. You have every right to not be inspired with them. Because now you see their true intentions. And the fact that they want to come in with a... You've already invested, and they're trying to disempower you throughout this investment. You've put down a very good foundation for yourself. You've built yourself back up again, and now they want to come in and disempower you again? They had their chance to make it and make it or break it, and they shattered it. And you had no choice but to rebuild after that. Exactly, Taurus. Very much a narcissistic collapse. A major tower. Watch out, there's a waterfall. Oh, you're nothing but a conspiracy theorist. I can have my cake and eat it too. Oh, really? Look at you getting all fat and sassy. The fact that you're still investing and they're trying to disempower you, this wasn't their wish fulfillment. The fact that you're building on their disempowerment, that's not what they wanted. Now they're emotionally tied to you somehow. They're emotionally obsessed with you. Okay? Because they could never eat in what you're becoming. And they help. So you really need to recognize how far you've come along the way there, collective, and what you've done for yourself. As if I went full and now I'm down to 13 all over again. I must have hurt some egos. The fact that you've had a great awakening and the fact that you know their playbook and the fact that you're still being in this energy of reciprocity but just not with them is literally driving them mad. The fact that they tried to slow down your forward movement, the fact that they tried to thwart all of your connections and sabotage all of your connections and create a position where you could not heal and that you did not have any hope, trying to thwart the wheel of death, it only created more bitterness for them. And here you are out here being compassionate. And the whole purpose of them coming in with all of this conflict was just to reconcile with you. You're still out here nurturing people. You're nurturing yourself. You know your self-worth. And just because you're dropping your boundaries, just because you are no longer, you're no longer guarded, you're no longer in this energy where you are defenseless. They were hoping that you would drop your guard, ultimately, to let them back in. But they don't like the fact that they have no admittance. They have no readmittance into your life. You're being divinely protected. And the fact that they want to come in now and celebrate with you, but you're not... They're out here trying to celebrate your death, misjudging your true potential, is what they're doing. They're out here trying to celebrate your death. but they're misjudging who you are. And they have no other choice but to watch now. Because of their disenfranchising energy. The fact that you're nurturing your truth and you're standing on business, you're standing for justice, and you're very uninspired to move in their direction, they know now that the commitment and the foundation on which you first initiated with them is null and void. Okay? And that's bad news bears for them. The fact that you do not want no commitment with them, the fact that you don't want to give them the time of day, the fact that you don't even want to consider any type of foundation with them because you know their intentions already. Welcome in, Renee. You already know their intentions. You already know whether they come in and apologize, whether it's sincere or not. It's not like you can sit here and trust them. It's not like that you can just forget about what they've done. It's not even a consideration anymore. I think I have a pretty good idea there, Taurus. Mm-hmm. The fact that they came at you to try to destroy your character, destroy the ability for you to even have a quality talent, everything that you were good at, they tried to dismiss. They tried to continuously manipulate you through your emotions, okay, to try to create imbalance with you, thinking they were actually getting somewhere. It's absolutely asinine, collective. I'll tell you that right now. And the fact that you've had this great awakening and that you're still you're still in this energy of reciprocity and you're going through a rebirth, they can't touch it. Because they tried to create major chaos and to destroy this whole idea of you ever having wish fulfillment and trying to spin your destiny upside down, is only giving you the ammo and the information and the overall intentions to make a decision. And by them not giving you any type of closure, that ultimately was the closure because of the chaos they were trying to create. But the fact that you're still nurturing, the fact that you're dropping your boundaries, and them trying to create this helplessness with you, you've ultimately cleared out this toxic energy. It has no room where you're concerned. You're alchemizing your heart space, you're finding your self-worth, and they're misjudging your ability to heal and stand on business. And it's ultimately giving you the ability to step forward. Because you're releasing this faulty connection, you're releasing this faulty commitment. And ultimately what they were trying to do is create an instability so that way you would never be committed to anyone for that matter. And that you would be out here begging. But here you are taking a leap of faith. Healed and revealed. Yeah. With this imbalance, they didn't want you moving forward. They didn't want you moving past this crossroads. They wanted you stuck. But you went into this rebirth by decision, by purpose. You didn't have all the information, but you allowed the divine to guide you through this. Despite the non-closure, despite the chaos, despite everything, you're still in this reciprocity with the universe. You're still in this reciprocity with this rebirth. And because you're making the decision to heal and alchemize all of this pain, in the thwarting of your destiny, you are putting yourself in the ability to be committed to yourself and have your own stability. And by you cutting out the devil's energy and the toxicity and still continuing to be nurturing and being able to drop your boundaries all at the same time, you have a truthful clarity, new beginning coming in. Because you've finally released this, because you've alchemized it, because you've rose above it. Like some of you might not be ready for love, but that's okay. And all based on their illusions and all based on these emotions that they tried to cast over you. It brought you these scenarios that got you to use your discernment regarding who you poured into as far as your emotions. And now you're choosing to pour into yourself. You're choosing your self-worth. You're choosing to love you for a change. You've changed your whole focus. You're not out here looking for a partner that you need a partner to fill some sort of a void that you apparently can't fill anymore. You found your self-worth. You found the love within yourself to stand firm despite the illusions. And you've had no other choice but to work with the emotions that you have. And again, it's only transmuted and made you more powerful within your ability to be emotionally mature. And all the while, the divine is asking you to tap into your intuition and to take a leap of faith. And they're out here thinking that this new beginning with you, this new passionate beginning, is gone to shit now. Because you've taken a leap of faith in a new direction. And it's regarding yourself. It's like you don't even want a relationship, let alone a relationship with them. So even if they wanted to throw a third party at you or anything like that, they're not going to get in. Because you don't want no passionate new beginning. If anything, you're going to be having a passionate new beginning with yourself. And all these third parties are becoming irrelevant. So this whole idea that they can infiltrate you with a third party, thinking that, oh, we'll just get the third party to go in and to befriend them and to get attached to them and everything, and then I'll just come back in at the last minute and try to apologize and try to make a third party. Like, they're really sly at this whole idea of turning this into a third party throuple bullshit that you've already stated that you wanted nothing to do with from the beginning. And this third party and this ex is out here celebrating the fact that they tried to bring you to your demise. And now all of a sudden, because you overcame everything they threw at you, now they're all hot and bothered as the fact that you're a heck of a lot more powerful than they ever thought you were. The fact that you've elevated over all of the shit that they did to you, and you've only empowered yourself, now all of a sudden they want to take you serious. But they still want to eat their cake and have it too. Like a bunch of idiots that they are. Out here making you look like a $2 hoe when you're nothing of the sort. Trying to traffic you behind your back without you even knowing it, sending in people to try to get into your energy, only to siphon off of you later, and to reattach these dumbass fucking demonic entities to you. This is why you have to use discernment, collective. Being out here, doing the thing with other people that you barely even know. You have not a clue that they're even associated with your ex. That they're going back to your ex and pillow talking about how the experience was, and you don't even know a thing that's happening. And they're getting off on it. So this is why it's better to be celibate. This is why it's better to focus on your own energy. This is why it's better to trust in the divine to bring those partners that are meant for you, to bring them in. Don't be out here looking, because somebody might just show up interested when they're associated with the third party, when they're associated with the ex, and they're going to sit there and lie to you. Thinking that they're pulling the wool over your eyes, thinking that this is a big, huge game that they can play. Not recognizing you're not playing the game at all. You're leaving them all behind. Why? Because you've always had more self-worth than they ever had, and even in their eyelash. You have more self-worth and self-love within your whole being than they even have in a hair on their head. That's how dungy, dusty, and disgusted and disgusting that they are. And this is what makes them totally irrelevant. And this is why they're being left behind. Because even if they do show up with the truth all of a sudden, that they want to, they want to tell you the truth all of a sudden, it doesn't matter. They can talk until they're blue in the face, and it doesn't mean that you're taking them back. Even if they want to take accountability and so-called start again, you're not going to stoop to that level. And if you do, I don't know what to tell you, collective. I really don't know what to tell you. Now it's a time to rest. And all because you're saying no. All these new beginnings that are coming in, they're trying to thwart it. They're trying to take away your destiny. They're trying to take away your legacy. They're trying to take away your foundation and what you're building. When all you're doing is focusing on your independence. But everything that's done in the dark is coming to light. And the fact that they're so obsessed that they don't want you walking away to new horizons. They're obsessed. And it's all coming out in the wash. You're going to see how truly black the water is when it all washes out. You're going to finally find out how dirty these motherfuckers were to start with. It's all coming out in the end. You're not trapped anymore, collective. As much as you might think that you're trapped, you're not trapped. This so-called new beginning that they wanted with you, they're not getting the upper hand. Okay? They're out here trying to come in and steal your independence by trying to recommit to you. And their selfishness is going to be revealed to you. And they feel betrayed at the fact that you won't let them back in. They feel betrayed, and they're trying to betray you by not allowing you to walk away. They're trying to get you to submit to them. They're out here invested in destroying you. Spirit's saying something along the lines that they've made it their life mission to destroy you. All because you say no. And I've already stated tonight what that's going to get them. I'm literally here tonight saying, hey, there's a waterfall just down the river there. You might want to get out of your boat. You might want to be paddling out over here to shore before you go over the waterfall. And they're out here calling me a conspiracy theorist. They're out here saying, oh yeah, okay, whatever. This is why it's better to leave the past behind you. If the past was to be looked at, you'd have eyes in the back of your head. You'd have toes on the back of your heel. This is why your toes are on the front of your foot, not the back. Because your toes point you in the right direction. Your toes are asking you to continue to move forward. So what are you going to do, collective? What are you going to do? Are you going to look back and reminisce of all those so-called good memories that turned out to be absolute fucking nightmares? Oh, but don't you remember the good times? What good times? What good times? Because if I remember correctly, all those so-called good times were just a figment of an illusion, just to get you hooked, collective. Because once they got you hooked, all those good times went to shit. And they only gave to you because they had to. They only gave to you of what you gave to them. But once they depleted you, and there was nothing left, they had nothing to give you. So they never had anything to give you in the first place. They might have had a nice car, they might have had a nice boat, they might have had a nice house, they might have even had a roof over their head. This might have been the only physical objects that they would have had to give, that they would have had to utilize and, to use in their favor. But it was only to hook you. It was only to take advantage of you. It was only to play a part. You'll always know how people truly feel about you if you are a giver, and if you are a people pleaser, and if you are someone that likes to support other people. Okay? And you give 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 and you give. If you're not getting equality back, if there's no reciprocity, and you just keep giving, and they don't give anything in return, you know their true intentions. It's evident. Like, I was constantly in the kitchen making dinners. When I was with my ex, I was the one that was making the food. Every day. If I wasn't making the food, we were going out to eat because I didn't want to cook. It's not the fact that they would actually pick up and actually make some food to reciprocate. It's the fact that they don't want to cook. They don't want to even try. They would just sooner go out to eat. And then when they take you out to eat, a week later they're complaining at the fact that, oh, I took you out to dinner yesterday. Isn't that good enough? Meanwhile, when it comes to emotional, physical, or energetic equivalency or reciprocity, there's nothing there. It's dull. It's one thing to give and get back in reciprocity, but if you give and you give and you give and you get nothing back, and then all of a sudden, because you're not giving, you're just a worthless piece of trash to them, you get to know a person's true nature and true intention, depending on how they treat you. Because if they're going to treat you like a worthless piece of trash and not show up for you, you know that you were their worthless piece of trash to start with. Because if they can't show up for you like you've shown up for them, that's not reciprocity. Welcome in, Dorothy. So they out here trying to steal from your independence. And your ability to stand on your own 2 feet. And it's almost kind of giving me the fact that they want you to need them. And by you recognizing the illusion for what it is, apparently you're selfish. Apparently they think you're selfish for calling your energy back. Because you're thinking about yourself. You're focusing on your own energy. You're focusing on your own independence. You're focusing on building up your money in order to stand on your own 2 feet. Meanwhile, they're out here wanting you to compete with them, and they want you to give in to them, and they want you to submit to them. Meanwhile, they can't even reciprocate anything back to you. And because you're not reciprocating, and because, you know, you're focusing on your independence, and you're calling your energy back, all of a sudden you're betraying them. Meanwhile, they're the ones that can't walk away from you. And they don't want you walking away from to broader horizons, whether it's independently or not. So they're out here trying to destroy everything that you're building for yourself, all the stability and everything, leaving you no other choice but to be strategic as to how you move forward. Every time you get up into a position where you're independent and you're on your own and you can stand on your own 2 feet, they're ripping out the rug out from underneath you to see how you juggle it and all the imbalance. All because you're recognizing the fact that you're not trapped. You're recognizing the imbalance for what it is, and the fact that you're standing on your own 2 feet and you're out here working hard to try to build something for yourself. All of a sudden, they don't like that, because they're out here obsessed with you and they want you to need them. They're trying to insert themselves into your experience in order for you to need them again. So they're creating chaos in order for you to call out to them and ask them for help. Meanwhile, in your mind, you're like, not happening. And this is their true obsession with their bitterness. Because they're bitter at the fact that you don't need them. They're bitter at the fact that you never needed them. And the fact that they got one over on you by wearing a mask, meanwhile you're standing in authenticity, you're not faking it. And you're sitting here with an 8 of Pentacles and they're trying to diminish you to make themselves feel better about their insecurities. And they think that you're not clocking it. They think that you're not figuring all this out. So collective, you're dealing with a real winner. And they want your chicken dinner all to themselves. So continue being your badass, beautiful self, collective. Continue focusing on your growth. Continue focusing on what matters to you. Okay? And keep it to yourself. Because there's people out here absolutely jealous at the fact that you've overcome everything that they threw at you. But the thing is that everything that you went through, they wouldn't have survived. Had they been in your same situation, they wouldn't have survived it. And that's why they choose to mask. That's why they choose to deceive. That's why they choose to be out here hurting people, thinking that they're going to get one up on you. Because this is what makes them feel powerful. The fact that they're getting one over on you. The fact that they are ruining your... It's all they have. It's all they have to look forward to. Trying to ruin everything you're building for yourself. It's the only power they have. That they think that they have. Because they absolutely hate themselves. Because of their insecurities. Because of the fact that they can't strive. They can't stand in their authenticity. Because there's not an authentic bone in their body. They're an NPC. So all this whole idea and this whole illusion where they think that they're better than you, it's a figment of an illusion. It's a figment of their imagination. And they're out here snapping out at the fact that you're overcoming everything they're throwing at you. Despite how many rugs they pull out from underneath you, despite how many karmics they throw at you, how many people they try to throw at you to get into your energy, to siphon from you. It's pretty bad that they have to go and they have to get all these new people to come into your energy to try to get into your energy because you want nothing to do with them anymore. So they have to send in all these new people in order to try to thwart you. It's pretty sad, I must admit. Of epic karmic proportions. And it's all being revealed. It's all going to be revealed to you how sick and twisted these dumbasses are. Thinking that they're going to come over and come at you and, you know, deceive you and lie to you and thinking that you're not clocking them. Thinking that you're not figuring things out. You've been through enough, collective. You see and you recognize the pattern recognition. They're playing the same playbook, just different people. And they think that you don't know. Act accordingly, that's all. Just continue acting accordingly. Continue clocking them. If something don't seem right, if something seems familiar, if something seems the same thing over and over and over again, there's repetition in the different people that you meet, chances are there's some sort of infiltration there. Because you end up meeting the same person, the same energy in a different person. And 9 times out of 10, they're all playing from the same playbook. And this is where your discernment will eventually develop. To the point where it's going to be very difficult for you to even trust anybody. And usually there's a honeymoon period. Usually, if they can get through a honeymoon period and still be genuine, still be respectful, and still be authentic, you'll know. You'll know the difference. Because there will not be any red flags with these people. And then you'll know that you got a real one. You got a real authentic individual. But they're very far and few between. They play nice to your face, but behind your back, they're talking shit. lying on you, deceiving you. Masters of healing, orbs of lights come back out again. The paradigm shift. The pink lady of nada. These have all come out already. The last time. I'm going to get new ones. Hold your center. That's a new one. So master healing, orbs of light, paradigm shift, and the rose. I'm going to put them back in and give them a shuffle. Because I want to produce a different message. Spirit, shake it up a little bit, will ya? Earth healing. That one's another one that come out, but I'll leave it out. Two more. Invitation to connect. In reverse. So, Spirit's saying intuitively, hold your center when they try to connect to you again. Don't forget. Remember. Okay? And Spirit doesn't want you to connect with them again. Keep your distance. Fourth ray of harmony and cosmic heart, cosmic Christ. Isn't that funny? Earth healing is right out here already. Come on. Stop playing around. Hang on a second, collective. Got to cut some processes out of here. Yeah, there's way too many things on. There we go. 38. All right, Earth healing. You're making real contributions to the planet through your spiritual journey. Remember this and believe that your needs will be generously met by the Earth and the universe. What you're doing matters and you will be supported. The Earth recognizes you. She sees that you are a conduit through which she is fed higher frequencies of light, love, and divine presence. This assists her on the journey of her own evolution. Earth is an exceptionally beautiful and powerful divine being in her own right. Yet she, like every other being, benefits from the assistance of higher frequencies, which offer a loving hand to help raise her vibration and continue her evolution. You are here to have your spiritual life journey in a human body. Part of that process will involve sharing your light with the earth itself. This may see you take on a role of a healer, a guide, a mentor, a teacher to others on the path. It may see you doing work with the natural world, with various earth-centered causes such as conservation and animal welfare, organic and biodynamic farming, and ethical food production. It may involve an active prayer life that is ongoing through your day, praying for assistance, compassion, clearing, and blessing when you see an accident on the road, an animal or person who seems to be suffering, or an item on the news that you know needs light and healing. From the most obvious gestures to the more subtle, the oracle tells you that you are powerful enough to make a meaningful contribution to the quality of consciousness upon the earth. Earth asks you to do your work with quiet confidence and dedication. She gives thanks for all that you've done and acknowledges her love for you. She will support you in your work by providing material means for you. While you are here on this planet, these include financial support, housing, food, and human and animal relationships. She will also provide guidance for your progress, opportunities to grow and expand your field of influence, education, and training opportunities. The means to take advantage of them, and the chance to apply what you've learned in a real-world context. The more you devote yourself to your task of earth healing, the more the earth will support you in fulfilling your inspired goals. If you have been wondering if the spiritual work you are doing is making a contribution, take this oracle as a validation that it is. What you are doing matters. Yes, you are going to expand and grow in the work that you are doing and the impact that you have in the world because you are capable of that. But you are already helping in ways that you may not even realize, but that the earth and the spiritual worlds do know. You have loved the earth enough to take human form and do your work here, so she knows that she knows it, and she will reward you richly for it. Keep working, shining, and growing, dear one. Your presence here is so needed and honored. Hold your center. 34. Have you been rushing out to meet others, trying to bend or accommodate to their needs at the expense of your own well-being and inner peace? Now you are to strengthen your own energy, your own boundaries, to find your ground, firmly place your feet there, and do not move. Feel your feet anchoring you like a beautiful tree. Let yourself experience quiet certainty as you hold your center with commitment, courage, and consciousness. This is about being in the stillness, okay, what I was speaking about earlier. You are learning to trust in your own instincts, to take your own journey without comparison to the life path of another. There is no need to become disheartened or distracted by comparisons or judgments. The earth needs your light, which can only come from you. You will offer so much less if you try to make it match your beauty to what you perceive to be the beauty of another. Many souls who are different and unique were not understood, acknowledged, and valued for whom they were as children. Instead, they were encouraged to conform, to change, and to be other than their true self in order to be loved. This can be a hard pattern to break, yet the time is here for you now to love and honor yourself as yourself. You are beautiful. You do not need to change for another. You certainly do not need to change for the divine. You are being encouraged instead to distill your essence to become even more of you. Hold your center now, and do not be rattled by any other through intimidation, confrontation, doubt, jealousy, or fear. To hold your center means you accept your innate value and worth, your right to exist and thrive, and accept the love that created you as you in order to fulfill your divine destiny. This oracle brings you confirmation you are on the right path. You do not need to collapse into fear or doubt to ease old guilt or make others more comfortable. It is not selfish or hard of you to be strong. You can hold yourself in high esteem and be gentle and loving to others, while absolutely refusing to accept any behavior, belief, or attitude of another that would tear you down or cast you into doubt or self-hatred. As part of your spiritual training, your soul learned to be open to receive guidance and channel healing. This is what you needed to be able to do to function as a healer, channel, and light worker. You had to be sensitive, receptive, and open. Now is the time to balance that with resilience, strength, and even some divine stubbornness, refusing to give up on who you are, while remaining open to guidance is the balance of loving wisdom necessary to grow yourself as a divinely unique individual in a world that often fears true individuality, simply because it cannot be easily controlled. Holding your center doesn't mean that you are no longer surrender. Instead, you consciously choose to surrender into divine love and grow more empowered. You're here to shine a light, to be the lighthouse for others. The lighthouse doesn't ask for permission to shine. It stands still, shines faithfully, and those who need it are guided by its light to safety. Do not lose faith in yourself, beloved soul. You know who you are. Be strong. Honor your inner beauty and your personal boundaries. You need to feel safe in your ability to say no as much as you need to know that you will say yes when your heart guides you to do so. So just be true to you. Invitation to connect. Love is existing through our universe. Many loving beings that do not belong to the human race exist in worlds beyond the earthly realm. Among these are those who are aware of the spiritual flight of humanity and are willing and able to help us move forward, unlike those who close their minds because they fear the unknown. You have an open mind and an open, receptive heart. Beings from other worlds recognize you as a receptive channel for their unconditionally loving assistance in this world. You will both benefit from this individually and to help the planet. So you are being offered an invitation to connect. There are many dimensions to existence. For those who are developing evolving sensory perception, the senses will not be restricted to bring impressed what? Okay. The senses will not be restricted to being impressed upon by the physical dimension. There are higher dimensions that the psychic or emotional nature can recognize, and even more refined dimensions that the higher mind can recognize. Beyond that, there are dimensions that the mind, even in its most expansive state, cannot grasp, but the spirit knows to be real. The more your sensitivity to subtle energy evolves, the more aware you become of these worlds beyond this world. For some, this will be easy to accept and will inspire interests in learning more. Others may be tentative about exploring connections with non-earthly beings. Great peace can grow in the heart of those who are unafraid, who are open to the idea of being into beings that that are aware of humanity, but not human themselves, who want to help humanity evolve and have a spiritual power to be able to do so. No matter how mixed up and consumed by darkness the world may seem at times, there are so many powers of light working to see the earth and humanity through this most interesting time, to see us into a new age of spiritual enlightenment. It is all part of the divine experiment of life. And there are many forces invested in the successful and loving evolution of humanity. If you have been contemplating life beyond the earth, perhaps talking to the stars or gazing wishfully at other planets. If you have been intrigued by the mysterious codes of light and sound, you are sure are embedded in crop circles, or simply having a feeling that you would like to work with beings who are more spiritually evolved than humanity at present, then you are being given a clear message with this oracle. There are beings in other worlds that are very aware of your open, loving attitude and the work that you are doing. They are actively responding to your thoughts and feelings. Since we live in a free will zone on Earth, we must extend the invitation to receive assistance. Because you are unafraid and resonate from a place of peaceful curiosity and higher level awareness, you are capable of issuing the needed invitation to those that can assist humanity from a place of unconditional love. Of course, there are forces in the broader universe, just as there are forces in the natural world here on Earth, that would not be so helpful to the triumph of love on this planet. Therefore, we must issue our invitation to the forces of light with a peaceful heart and a wise mind. Cosmic Heart, Cosmic Christ. Vincent, 27. You are elevating your vibration towards the frequency of limitless supply and unconditional love. Spiritually, you are reaching for a high-level attainment. Past pain and self-defeating behaviors shall no longer have a place in your heart. Source or Christ consciousness is an expression of divine love that comes straight from the universal heart. It triggers a transmutation and evolution so absolute that we are irrevocably changed. We increasingly become an embodiment and expression of pure divine will and an unwavering expression of divine love for all who are in need. This process takes lifetimes to complete. As you proceed, you will receive countless blessings to support your journey and fulfill your sole purpose of serving love. There will also be tests. This gives the spirit a chance to develop mastery. There will be tests of forgiveness. It is easier to forgive than when you do not harbor resentment at natural limitations, which is like being angry at the sun for not shining at night. Natural laws prevail. So whether we are speaking of the sun, a child, or ourselves, as we grow, compassion allows us forgiveness to flow more easily. There will also be tests of power. And as you grow, you will become more powerful. You can use that power to help or hinder others, to manipulate them through fear or encourage them with love. You can nurture yourself on your path, or you can relentlessly criticize yourself for your errors. You can claim your power comes from some superiority you possess, or you can see yourself as surrendered vehicle, animated in the purposeful action through the grace of the divine. The fourth ray of harmony. Number 6. The fourth ray of harmony comes to you now with the qualities of beauty, harmony, and balance. It empowers you to complete a spiritual initiation. Any conflict that you experience now serves as your divine purpose. It will eventually become the fuel that you need to be born anew. Something negative will be transformed into something positive. Archangel Gabriel helps you to receive the blessing of the fourth ray of harmony now. When the fourth ray of harmony is active in your life, you're approaching spiritual initiation, which creates a whole new person, a new you. Initiation may begin with the feeling of torn between two choices or realities. You may wonder if you have what it takes to get through this. You do. As you discover your strength to be patient with the process rather than trying to force an outcome prematurely. Eventually, you will outgrow the conflict altogether, emerging as a wiser, more powerful you. You will have gained a positive outcome from what was once considered to be a negative situation. When the fourth ray of harmony becomes stronger in your soul, avoid becoming scattered, out of balance, or swinging from one extreme to the other in thoughts, actions, and emotions. You will need to keep grounding yourself and being moderate rather than all or nothing in your life choices. This will create your successful outcome more swiftly than trying to force something to happen immediately. The challenge and the gift with the fourth ray of harmony is the increased sensitivity to beauty it engenders. Music takes on a whole new emotional depth. The beauty, or let's say chaos, in your environment and even the colors that you wear has more impact on you than usual. You can use this increased sensitivity to your advantage by choosing art, music, colors, and so on that feel good for you. The mainstream is still operating in a fear-based energy with increased sensitivity. You can at times be more affected by this if you are experiencing increased negativity, depression, doubt, fear, or emotional instability. This is likely why. You can overcome this without shutting down, and when you sense that it's happening, respond with a loving discipline. You might meditate, journal, dance, create, art, listen to music, exercise, have a bath, or spend time in nature to bring yourself back to balance. This ray has a special connection to the arts and guides you to create. You are encouraged to trust your own creativity, to enjoy it, and use it to help heal yourself and perhaps others too. When Archangel Gabriel enters your life, there will be an emphasis on the use of sound for healing and balance. So the words that you use, uh, affirmations, for example, and the invocations in this deck, it will be very powerful. So will music. You may use sound to help balance and restore your energy. You'll know when it has worked because you will feel happier and find life simpler. You may not immediately solve an issue, but start doing what you need to take care of yourself, knowing that resolution is on its way. So, yeah, there's that. Welcome in, Sophia. So continue having faith, collective, because, we are on the upswing now, moving into the new year, right? We're coming into the springtime, which is the new year, and this is where things start growing again. Okay, we very well could still be in January. However, time will start to speed up. And this is why I've been focusing on this for the last 3 years, so that way we could be in the momentum of this change. However, in order to integrate this new earth, you need to alchemize the pain and the suffering and the negative frequency in order to be at par and to be in alignment with this new frequency, with the new earth. And this is why the healing is so predominantly important. If you want to jump on that train, you have to do the healing. It's giving a no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The healing needs to be done in order to integrate into the new earth. And this is where the so-called New World Order bullshit isn't going to fly, because it's very low frequency. It's not high frequency at all. And this is why it's going to break down. It's already breaking down. And within a very short time, it will be deemed insignificant. Because of the low frequency that it holds. It's based on a false light. It's based on falsehoods. It's based on tyranny. It's based on control. When the only control that we have is how we act or react, and how we show up in the world. This is our only sovereignty. Right? But people are trying to take control of that sovereignty to make it to where we owe nothing and we will be happy. No, it's not even about that. It's about them finalizing the monopolies through industry and resources. Right? So, because of this dynamic of the old world being fallen away, we're having no other choice but to move into a new world. So this is also the integration and the alchemy of that energy. And this is why there's a great divide between the negative energy polarity and the positive energy polarity. So it's all in how we want to show up, collective. Nothing more, nothing less. Right? But we need to have the courage in order to integrate this new earth energy. On that note, collective, I want to wish you well for the evening. I've been up since 7 a.m., so I'm going to go and have myself a sleep. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. If tonight's message resonated with you and you'd like to donate to the channel, it's all greatly appreciated. I am open from 5 to 9, Monday to Friday, so come and get your personal reading through the Hipsy link in the description box. If you'd like to send me a PayPal or a donation, you can do it through PayPal, or you can do it through Hipsy if you don't want to go through YouTube. Okay? You can also send me a super thanks. Okay? At any time. You can send me a super chat, super sticker pretty well at any time. It's all greatly appreciated. This is currently my bread and butter. This is the only way I can get ahead. And I come here to support you, so maybe show some reciprocity. Maybe get a membership. Help me on a monthly basis, so that way maybe I can get my own place, because I need it. Out of all of the 11,000 subscribers, I've only got 24 members at this time. 22 to 24 members. So come on over to the members side. There's actually going to be a members live this Saturday, to where you can actually get a personal message with me. So come hang out with us. It's a lot more chill over on the members side. And you get to see my pretty face on the members side. So come on over, become a member. Get your own personal messages. Level 1 through 4 will get you an actual reading once per month. There's 2 members lives per month. There's one at the beginning of the month and one mid-month. So you get a overall monthly message, plus you get a midterm through the month message as a follow-up as a member. So become a member and join us on the member side. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, Collective. If you can't be good at it, please be good to yourself, so that way you can be good to others. And I will catch you in the next video.